incoming assistant. Okay, let me start. I'm Allison Ye, and I'm the assistant director for the Hillsborough Transportation Planning Organization, or TPO. Thank you so much for joining us today. Appreciate you taking some time out of your afternoon to discuss this community air quality monitoring project. Health of our community is an important focus area for the TPO, and it kind of integrates into our planning process. So this project is sort of exciting for us. It's a joint project between the TPO, USF, and EPC of Hillsborough County and the Federal Highway Administration. And what I would like to do to start off is just briefly introduce our teams. I'm going to introduce the TPO team, and then all the project members will introduce their teams. So on the TPO, we have Lizzie Eric, which is a very just excellent graduate fellow from the USF Urban Planning Program that's been working with us this year and next year. And we're really happy to have her. And I'm sure you've been in contact with her in one way or another over the course of this project. And we also have with us Davita Franklin, the TPO's very, very talented outreach coordinator, and she's been helping us with the project and will be helping us today. And we will get into more detail, but right now I want to turn the floor over to Dr. Amy Stewart with USF, who will introduce her team.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor to be part of this project. I'm Amy Stewart. I'm a professor of environmental health at USF. My background is in chemical and environmental engineering, and I focus specifically on air pollution. I'm particularly interested in reducing urban air pollution exposures and inequality in exposures. And for my team, I have 3 people here. I'll start with Younghong Liu. Do you want to? She is a doctoral student in public health and a research associate on the project, and she's the lead student worker on all aspects of the project. And next we have Reno Solicito. He's a Master of Science student in public health whose thesis is focusing on transportation-related air pollution. And his work is focused on the field pieces, the field work for the project. And he also, Reno brings up about 20 years experience in the transportation safety field as well to the project. And then finally, we have Shanna Nice. Shanna is an undergraduate student in civil engineering, and she's focused on the community engagement pieces of the project, but also assists on everything else. And that's all from me.
So next, I think we have Cody from the EPC.
Yes, hello, my name is Cody Winter. I work for the Environmental Protection Commission of Hillsborough County, specifically in the Air Division. I work with Michelle Jenkins in the air analysis section, and we deal primarily with sustainability initiatives as well as enforcement and other budgetary projects for EPC. And Michelle, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Michelle Jenkins. I'm with the Environmental Protection Commission of Hillsborough County, as Cody said. We have 3 people as part of this wonderful team, and that's myself, Cody, and Jason Waters. He is the air monitoring chief for the Air Division of EPC, and he's playing a critical role in some of this by providing his expertise and feedback on some data analysis and data validation, citing, things like that. He's our resident guru, and I wasn't able to make the meeting, but we're all very proud to be a part of this project, and we thank USF and TPO for allowing us to contribute. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, we can hear you great. Sorry,
Oh,
I
that's
should have
okay.
led with you. Yeah. And next we have Lee, I believe, from Federal Highway.
My name's Lee Osterling. I'm an air quality specialist with Federal Highways Resource Center. Also joining from Federal Highway is Kathy Kendall. She's the planning team leader in the Federal Highway Florida division. And also participating in this work group has been David Call. He's an air quality specialist with our Federal Highway headquarters office. And so, of course, Kathy is your main contact there in Florida, and David and I were just really interested in the work that you're doing here. And we're, thankful that you let us listen in and participate in this work. And we're really interested in seeing the results.
Thanks. So now Shayna is going to lead the introductions for the rest of the group.
Yeah, hi. So thank you everyone for coming once again. We wanted to get everyone to kind of introduce themselves to the whole group, your name, organization you're representing, if any, and what specifically your interests in this project are. I'll go through the participant list if that's okay. You can explain when we get to you. We have Lee. Or no, you talked, right? Yes. Sorry. Eric. Hi, Eric. How are you?
I'm good. This is Eric. I'm with the City of Tampa Parks and Recreation Group. I'm the Urban Forestry Manager.
Thank you. Alfredia.
Hi, I'm Elfrida Mulkey, and I am the business administrator at New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, and I'm very excited to be a part of this team to see how we can help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're happy to have you. Brian.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Knox. I'm with the City of Tampa, Senior Forester Examiner with City Planning.
Thank you. Thank you. We have Lena.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's a delight to join this group and the caliber of background and expertise that I hear in introductions. I am from Tampa Heights community, and we are what we believe that to be an area that very much needs to have our air quality studied, considering that we have two interstates that meet in Tampa Heights, and then another one that continues around, wrapping us around on our south side, going east to west. With those being in place, the air quality has to be one of the, in our area, in our opinion, has to be one of the ones that really needs to be studied and documented as to what's going on around this continuously growing interstate. These continuously growing interstates. Naya Young is also with us. Naya is the executive director of the Tampa Heights Junior Civic Association, works with the children all the time. We work with many of you who are on this call to help our children get introduced to worlds that may not occur to them for employment, may have no interest or connection with what they could choose to do in life or what's happening to them on a daily basis. So we are glad to have the youth who we really hope to incorporate in this study of the air that they breathe and live in.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you guys here. Joshua. Hi.
Hey, Shanna. Hey, everybody. Josh Barber here, TPO staff. I work on issues of Title VI and environmental justice over here, and just here to listen in and excited for y'all's project. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Brad.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be part of this group undertaking this monumental task. And we had a small air monitoring quality study done at Julian B. Lane some years ago by EPC staff. This seems like it's on a much more comprehensive scale. Happy to take part of this with a partnership with you guys and work out the logistics of each particular site of what you need and how we can better help this study along. Anything you need, just don't hesitate to reach out to us. And I gotta do a little side note to Lena. I miss you, Lena. It's great to hear your voice. And so we gotta get together soon.
Yes, yes, it's good to connect again, Brad.
I know, I'm saying.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad. Let's see, Cedric. Hi, Cedric.
Good afternoon, Cedric McCray, East Tampa CRA Manager. Glad to be in such a esteemed company this afternoon and just here to listen in and find out a little bit more about the project and what's going to be going on. East Tampa's boundaries are to the north, Hillsborough Avenue. It kind of gerrymanders a little bit. To the east, 50th Street. To the south is I-4, and to the west is Taliaferro Avenue and 255. So we are the largest CRA within the city of Tampa, and kind of a unique situation where we do have industrial. Ms. Young Green mentioned the interstates that kind of crisscross or intersect, as well as a lot of the residential housing that we have in East Tampa as well. So thank you, and glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Taryn?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Taryn Sabia. I'm the director for the USF Florida Center for Community Design and Research. I have had the opportunity to work with a number of you, but not all of you. So I believe I got invited by WIT because of the work that we've been involved with vulnerability assessment for Hillsborough County and the city of Tampa, for the climate action and equity plan with the city of Tampa. And we have a number of other grants that we'll be working on upcoming, looking at tree canopy studies within the urban neighborhoods and urban core of East Tampa in particular. So thanks so much for including me. Hi, Lena, and I'm a resident of Tampa Heights as well.
Yes,
so,
you are.
So it's great to be included. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Did I miss anyone that wasn't already introduced? Oh, Aya, hi, sorry.
Oh, hi, Shanna. Hi, everybody. My name is Aya Yassin, and I am the Temple Terrace representative on the Citizen Advisory Committee of the TPO, and I'm also a planner and a NEPA project manager. I've actually worked with some people here in different types of my previous experience. I work with Kathy Kendall, so I'm really happy to see her on there, and Allison Yee, and even Amy as I was a grad student. So good to see you guys, and I'm really happy that all of you guys are involved in this project. And I'm here to listen in and assist in any way possible, but I'm here representing the city of Temple Terrace.
Thank you so much.
We also have Rich, I think. Did we?
Oh, Rich, yes.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Maybe you can see me too. I'm Rich Clarendon. I'm the assistant director of the TPO, and full disclosure, I'm got about another 30 days before hitting retirement. So this is sort of my swan song, but I will give you a little perspective on this because I've been with the TPO a long time.
Yeah.
Back when I started with the TPO in the early 90s, we were in a non-attainment area, which meant that the region as a whole did not meet EPA air quality standards. And that was a problem that the MPO at that time, as it was known, had to deal with, like a lot of MPOs, in doing control measures, which basically come down to what we can do to mitigate vehicular emissions. And at that time, the problem was smog. But we've gotten over that on a regional basis. I think only due to cleaner running vehicles and fuel efficiency standards and so forth. But that doesn't answer the question of what happens on a more a smaller scale if you're in proximity to some of our major roadways. So that's my interest in finding out what we can learn from this project.
Yeah, I just want to say that the TPO and especially me, we're really going to miss Rich and all the knowledge he's taking with him into his retirement. So still be calling him. And he also was one of the staff members that had the genesis for this idea that sprouted into everything, we're going to talk about today. So thank you, Rich.
Right, is that everyone? I think. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll pass it to Lizzie now to introduce our project and our goals for today.
Thank you, Shanna. Thank you, everyone. It's really great to see everyone here and meet you all. So I'm excited to work with you today and also moving forward. So let's see. We will start with the project overview and really what we want to accomplish today. So why are you all here? So the things that we really want to focus on are sharing information on air quality monitoring and air quality in general. This is also a really good opportunity for us to provide a project update and get good feedback from you guys. Hear what you think about what we've done so far, and then also how you want to see us move forward together with the community. So what we're looking for feedback on specifically is identifying potential community monitoring sites and also desired future sites, in addition to the feedback on some of the selection criteria processes. And then in addition to that, we want to explore ways that you want to get involved and gauge your level of interest. So we'll have a presentation to kind of give you the background information, but we also want to have breakout groups to get your feedback, and then also a mapping activity in the latter portion of the focus group today. And we'll just start with a brief overview of the goals and the objectives, just so you know what we're looking to achieve and how we'll do so as well. So as stated here on the slide, the purpose of the study is to study air quality in communities that are most impacted by transportation-related air pollution or TRAP.
Sorry, Lizzie, sorry to interrupt. We're not seeing the screen.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know.
Sure.
Let's see. Give me 1 second as I deal with my technical difficulties.
It always works like during practice. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, can you guys see that now? No. Okay, let's see.
Yeah. If not, maybe Chris could put up the presentation, or one of us could.
Yeah.
I don't have
Oh, okay, let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Can you see that now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you for bearing with me. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'll give you guys a second to just look at what we want to accomplish today. You also should have received this in the email that I sent out as a reminder yesterday. So hopefully it rings a couple bells. So let's see. Okay, so we've got the goals and objectives. So now, as you can see on the slide, the purpose is to study air quality in communities that are most impacted by transportation-related air pollution, and also to provide access to that air quality data. So the overarching goals, what we really want to achieve with this study is to increase access to local air quality data so people really understand the quality of the air in which they live and breathe. We also want to inform future transportation planning with more data on localized air quality. And this goal goes hand in hand with this last goal of equitably improving air quality so that communities are not disproportionately affected by TRAP. And we've got the objectives on here as well, which are to establish pilot monitoring sites in the communities, and then also collect community air quality data and then give that back to the public and share that with those communities. And lastly, we also want to develop methods to establish a larger community monitoring network. So this is really reflective of the fact that we are still in the pilot phase. So we're still testing everything out and working through things so we can move forward with a larger network later on. And this is just a very brief overview of what we've done so far, where we're at now, and then where we want to go. We'll go into more detail in the following slides, but from October through December, what we worked on was installing the monitors at the control site and testing those monitors. So USF and EPC really worked together to get that set. We also identified the community monitoring areas and started to engage community partners. So that was when we first started to reach out to everyone. Where we are right now, January through March in 2022, we are here today at the focus group, and then we'll also be selecting community monitoring pilot sites and installing the monitors in the community. So that'll roll into April through June, when we'll collect and analyze the community air quality data, and then also really work with the community sites to do public engagement. And then July through August, that's when we'll be reporting the findings. And at this point, I will transfer it over to Dr. Amy Stewart to tell us a little bit more about air quality and air quality monitoring.
Thank you, Lizzie. So many of you know a lot about air pollution, but I want to get us all kind of on the same level for understanding what we're doing here with this study. Next slide, please. So first of all, air pollution is the #1 environmental risk to health globally. And in the US, it's been estimated that it contributes to about 80,000 excess deaths annually. Air pollution is primarily associated with respiratory and cardiovascular symptoms and diseases, including asthma, chronic bronchitis, impaired lung development, heart disease, and premature death. And susceptible populations for these effects include young children, seniors, and people with existing disease, and people who are active outside. And finally, poor air quality and odors can also detrimentally affect mental health. Next slide. Additionally, there's a lot of concern about inequality in these health effects. The data show that some disadvantaged groups are disproportionately impacted. Some statistics are shown here on this slide, but I'll bring your attention to, for example, that African-American children and Hispanic children and children in low-income households are substantially more likely to have asthma and to die from it. These health inequities are due to a variety of factors, but higher exposure of these populations to poor air quality contributes. Next slide. Evidence of inequality in exposures is particularly strong for traffic-related air pollution, or TRAP, and that's evidence includes for our own county. Transportation-related air pollution is a complex mix of pollutants that are higher near roadways. And this pollution comes from fuel burning. It comes from evaporation of fuel and other solvents in your vehicles. It also comes from wear on tires and brakes and road surfaces. As I said, there are many pollutants that are traffic-related air pollutants, but some of the important indicator pollutants are nitrogen oxides and fine particulate matter, which are the focus pollutants that we are using here. Next slide. All right, so to try to maintain healthy air quality throughout the county, we have an air quality management system that includes required monitoring of many pollutants. And in our county, that's done by the Environmental Protection Commission, one of the partners on this project. However, because there are many different air pollutants to monitor and regulatory monitoring sites are quite expensive, there are typically only a few regulatory monitors that measure any particular pollutant in the county. And you can see that in the site of the EPC regulatory monitors on the left-hand side of this slide. Hence, although these measurements from regulatory monitors provide very high quality data, they're not designed to provide the type of spatially resolved data needed to make planning decisions that could improve neighborhood health or to decrease inequality in transportation-related air pollution exposures. And so recently, a new type of community monitoring approach has been developing that involves smaller, lower cost sensors. And these, although these sensors, the data quality is reduced compared to the regulatory monitors, they have a lot of potential to provide much more dense coverage of measurements that are needed for localized understanding. Next slide. And additionally, the lower cost monitor deployments can help to enable data sharing among the community through websites such as the one shown here. This is the Purple Air Particulate Matter Monitor website, and it's just showing the sites that we have in our area. Our area doesn't have very many yet, but in some places you'll see a very dense network of these sites. and you'll see that on the next slide. But this feature, this data sharing feature, can hopefully increase involvement of impacted neighborhood residents in decision-making processes that affect their air quality. Next slide. Hence, community projects that use these small monitors have begun to become more prominent over the last several years. Some examples are listed here. For example, the community village green sites placed in parks or other community locations that also provide, in addition to doing measurements, they provide the data to the community and some educational information for people that interact with these sites. Or the Ivan Air Monitoring Network in Imperial County, California, which was established kind of from a grassroots effort in a high-risk Hispanic community there. And you can see on the bottom right corner of the slide, their dense network of measurements from that network. Next slide. So hence this project, so despite the potential of these lower cost networks for improving air quality and for reducing inequity, they're still in development. And best methods for their deployment, their calibration, for getting high quality data and assuring that data is of high quality in a community network, these things are still needed. And hence this project's goal is to select the monitors, specify protocols for their use to measure transportation related air pollution in areas with expected high exposures, and to deploy them in a pilot monitoring of few community monitoring sites with the longer term vision, as Lizzie said, to implement a network of community monitors in the county. And so to tell you a little bit about what we've been doing so far on this front, I'll turn it over to my students, and I believe Reno is starting.
Yes, good afternoon. And I want to just give you some background of what entails to select the monitors that we decided to use for this study. So one of the important tasks of this project actually is to select monitoring equipment that can best meet needs of a lower cost community monitoring network, which is focused on reducing inequality and exposure to the trap, as Dr. Stewart said. So to select the appropriate equipment, we first collect and review the information on a variety of low-cost monitors that are available on the market, and there are plenty of them. These include a review scholarly literature on studies and that used each monitor, and government and organizational guideline documents and vendor documents. So we compile all these documents together and we analyze them, we study them. And one focus was the evaluation of study that compared low-cost monitor performance to regulatory federal reference method or federal equivalent method monitors. So to select the candidate monitors from the available options on the market, we use several criteria, 5, as you can see in the most important, as you can see in the table here on the top of the slides. So the type of pollutant that each monitor can analyze is one of the criteria. We are focusing on PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5 in diameter, and nitrogen oxide, NO2, because they are regulated pollutant of health concern, and they are expected to higher levels near the roadways and are trap components that can be measured cost effectively. The second criteria utilized is the price, because we have a budget that we have to honor and we have to stay in it. So the ultimate goal of this work actually has been to establish an affordable network of community monitors. So we looked for the least expensive monitor that can produce a good quality data. And the third criteria just introduced is the data quality. So there are several measures of data quality that are being established by EPA and reported in study of monitor performance. One of them is the coefficient of the determination, R square, that provide the degree of the interrelation between the two variables. In our case, the variables are the reference monitor and the low-cost monitor. So its value that goes from 0 to 1. The closer to 1 this coefficient is, the more the monitor perform well. And in the next slide, you can really grab well what I mean with that. And the fourth criteria is the easy of data collection. So how easy is to collect the data? This concerns how easily the data are collected by the monitor and they can be obtained. And whenever the monitor platform include an easy system for analyzing, visualizing, and sharing the data with the stakeholder and the public. And the fifth criteria that we utilize is the logistic of the installation, use, and maintenance of those monitors. So we consider what ancillary equipment and resources are needed by each monitor, like power, data transfer connectivity, data logging, waterproof shelter, and several other factors. So based on these 5 criteria, we have selected a few candidate monitors for testing as part of this pilot phase. So those include for the PM, as you can see on the bottom left part of this the slide, 2 purple air and air beam. The first picture with the 2 hands is the purple air, and beside there is the air beam. On the NO2 monitor candidates, we have the NVIC AirSense, which is the third picture, the blue one, round blue one, and the square blue one is the Unitech Sense IT. And then on multi-pollutant candidates that can measure at the same time several pollutants, we have the Clarity node, which is the one, the fifth picture with the solar panel, and the Airly, which is the last picture on the bottom right. And so in the next slide, my colleague Yong Hong will explain the testing that we have been doing with this candidate monitor. And thank you.
Thanks, Reno.
Is it a time to ask questions or make a note of our questions and ask at the end?
I believe that it's probably I don't know what you want to do. It's probably better at the end. If you can take a note. Yes, thank you.
So Alison, do you have something to talk? You muted.
Oh, no, I'm fine. Please go on.
Okay. So thanks, Reno. I'm going to talk about the field testing we have done so far for the candidate monitors. To test the performance of the low-cost monitors and develop calibration methods, we are doing 2 types of field studies. The first type involves putting multiple low-cost monitors at the same location and time. Here we show data from the intercomparison of the Purple Air and Airbeam monitors for 1 week at an outdoor location. The graph on the left shows the hourly average G5 particle levels measured by the Airbeam versus those measured by the Purple Air. We can see from this that the levels measured by each monitor matched each other well because the dots all fall close to the diagonal line. We are also doing field studies with the low-cost monitors placed next to a reference monitor to evaluate their accuracy. The data shown here is from 1 week of measurements from 2 Purple Air monitors and the EPC's regulatory monitor. And the middle figure shows how the measured particle level varied between higher and lower values over time. We can see that the patterns are similar between the 2 monitors, both record high and low levels at approximately the same time. However, the Purple Air levels, the red dots, tend to be overestimated those of the reference monitor, the blue dots, for the highest particle measurements. The right figure shows that the Purple Air measurements matched the reference monitor values pretty well because the dots are all close to the diagonal line. So this slide shows a sample of results from the first stage of our testing. We are planning additional studies with these and the other candidate monitors this spring in order to fully evaluate the monitors per the EPA and US EPA's guidelines for data quality of low-cost monitors. Now I'll turn this over to Lizzie to talk about community site selection.
Thank you, Yong Hong. So another major component that we worked on over the past couple months was really the part 1 of two parts of the pilot study location selection process. So developing a community selection criteria so that we can then narrow down the communities to monitor based on that criteria. The criteria was composed of 3 different parts. So the first one is the environmental factor, which is really just the proximity to I-275 and I-4. Another portion of that criteria was the demographic factors. The 2 primary ones that we looked at were communities with low income and communities with the majority of people of color. And we primarily drew the demographics from the EPA's environmental justice mapping tool, which is EJ Screen, and then also the Plan Hillsborough Non-Discrimination and Equity Plan. In addition to that, we looked at opportunities for community access and engagement, because a big portion of this study is really making sure that that data is accessible to the community. So this is a visual representation of kind of that criteria. So you can see on this map, we've got 2 different maps. Both are from the EPA's Environmental Justice Mapping tool, and they look at the convergence of the environmental and demographic factors and how they come together. So you can see here what we're looking at is the proximity to high volume roads, and in this case, I-275 and I-4, and then also the low income population and the percentage of people of color. So based on that, and also the opportunities for engagement, we identified 3 different communities to focus on for the pilot study. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see a community here up near Sulphur Springs that we've identified. And then on the right-hand side, you can also see a community that encompasses VM Ybor and Tampa Heights. And then just south of that, we've also got one that encompasses South Nebraska. So based on that, with the community selection criteria, we really want to get your input on the criteria for when we move forward, when we do start to establish the larger community monitoring network. We want to see what you think is most important when selecting those communities, and just kind of hear your thoughts on all of that. So what we'll do right now is we're going to go into breakout sessions, and we will have a moderator in there that will have the prompts on here, and then you guys can also have conversations amongst yourselves to discuss this a little bit further. And I think Chris will be helping us get everyone into breakout rooms. So just bear with us as we all go on our separate ways for a minute.
I have them all set up, ready to go, so we can go anytime.
Okay, perfect. If we can get them rolling, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Chris.
We can do that. And the hosts of the rooms, remember to press the record button once you're in there and start discussion. That way we have a recording of all the different rooms.
Wonderful. Thank you. Brad, I know we got cut off on the last one, but I will add that to the notes.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So we will get back to our presentation here. Let's make sure I can share the screen.
One second, Brian, I saw you had tried to say something, but we couldn't hear you. So if you can remember your question for the end, we can definitely get to you. Sorry about that.
Also, Shana, Shana, Ms. Young Green had a question during the presentation, so want to make sure she had a question, time to ask it as well later. If not during the whiteboard session, then later on.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I think my internet cut out. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. And so let's see, can everyone session page? And I'm going to flip to the next one. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Apparently I'm having more technical difficulties than normal today, so sorry. Okay, so let's see. So I think that we are now going to talk about where we're at now, and I will pass this over to Shanna to go through the part 2 of the selection process. And we're actually going to skip over to another portion. So we'll get out of the whiteboard, or we'll go over to the whiteboard from the PowerPoint. Okay, can you all see the screen with the site selection criteria now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. And Shanna, you can take it away.
All right, so so we just talked about kind of the community selection process and criteria. Now we want to talk about the specific site selection criteria, as in like where specifically within these communities we want to place monitors. So to the left here on our whiteboard space, we'll be collaborating on here pretty soon. We list some criteria that we think is very important for the specific site selection. These criteria include community areas and public engagement opportunities. We want areas where people regularly congregate so that the community can engage with the monitors and the data that they are collecting. Next, we have the proximity to our nearby high volume roadways like I-275 and I-4, because these are the areas we expect to find disproportionately high levels of air pollution. And so we expect these communities to have much higher exposures to these harmful air pollution. Next is an interest in becoming a long-term community monitoring site, because we envision this project to be a long-term and widespread network of community air monitoring. So we are looking for locations that might want to partner with us now and as well as in the future. And next we have a few logistical needs for the monitors. These monitors will require internet connection and power to log their data. So we'll need areas with reliable Wi-Fi and power connection. And we also plan to implement informational displays and signages for community engagements along with these monitors. So we would like places that are accessible and available for us to get involved with the community and do this kind of thing. To the right, we have a list from the EPA of some more logistical requirements for air quality monitoring. Some other considerations are like the ability to place the monitor in a high enough area with unobstructed airflow, permissions from the organization for us to install or work with these monitors, and some other concerns like security and such. So now we are going to, I'm going to pass it to Lizzie. She'll explain our group activity on this whiteboard involving these community site selection criteria.
Okay, thank you, Shanna. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to paste this link into the chat in the Zoom meeting. So everyone can take a second to open up the whiteboard at this point. And we're actually going to go through this. So we'll do a kind of a practice session as we're also reviewing the site selection criteria. So if you guys can just take a second and open that. If you are not able to open it, or if you run into any technical difficulties with it whatsoever, just let Shanna and me know, and we can add in any comments for you as well. So you're still able to participate even if you're on a phone or if you run into issues with it. Okay. And let's see. So if everyone has the whiteboard up, what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit so you can see the full screen here. So on the top left-hand side of the screen, you have your menu bar, and you can click on that with the 3 lines to open up your tools. So you're going to use these tools as we go through this activity and then also the next activity on the whiteboard. And we're connecting. This is giving everyone a second to get to the whiteboard as well. I don't think we've had this many participants in the whiteboard yet, so it might lag a little bit. Okay, so on here, what we'll start out doing is everyone on the whiteboard will actually be starting with a pencil. So if you go into the basic tools dropdown, it's got a pencil and a ruler. You can actually just use your pointer tool. And so that way you won't be drawing all around the whiteboard, which is what I was doing initially. So if you flip to the pointer, then you can kind of click around and explore a little bit. But we will also be using the pencil here. So what we'll do is you're going to mark the site selection criteria that you think is really important using your pencil tool. So you'll go over to your pencil, and then you can also change the line width. You want it to be thick so that we can actually see it. Otherwise, it's just a tiny little point. And then you can also change the color to whatever color is your favorite color. So I'll go to purple. So what I'm going to do to identify the one that I really like is if I think that the logistical needs are really important, I'm just going to put a dot next to logistical needs. And then if I want to clarify that a little bit more, I'm also going to go over here and I'm going to say that I think that access is also really important. So what you can do is you just use those markers. And then if you want to add a comment as to why you really like those, you can use the sticky notes. So just up here on your bar, you can click on the sticky notes, and then you can add sticky notes here. You'll highlight that. And there's a template right here. So I'll just click over here with my sticky notes. Oops. Let's see, maybe I will. Okay, well, let's see if we can edit this one. So what you'll do is you'll add your sticky note and it'll pop up here. And then you're just gonna add your name onto this. And I'm gonna put Lizzie. And if we can also just keep 1 note per person, and then we'll just add our comments in down here. So I'll let someone else edit this as well. And then you can all take your turn on adding your dots and your sticky notes. Does anyone have any questions on that? All right, I'm seeing some dots here, so that's great. And if you accidentally put a dot on there, you can actually go into your basic tools and you can use the undo button as well. that might be better because if you use the eraser, it might touch someone else's dot as well. Someone's playing around with the move images tool. All right. Is there anyone who would like us to add any comments in here for them? Oh, I see one sticky note starting. Let's see. So right now we've got a bunch of dots next to logistical needs. Wonderful. Proximity to the interstate has a couple. Community access and public engagement. Let's get in a couple more. And when you add your sticky note, make sure you do press save on there, just so it saves the text as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, mine is not working. I click on the 3 lines in the top left and nothing happens.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Do you want, I can edit, I can add a dot for you, and I can also add a sticky note for you if you'd like.
Okay, please add logistical needs are very important.
Okay.
And in terms of location, the TPO, hi Allison, is putting in some bike ped traffic counting devices, and I'd like some coordination to be taken between the 2 silos over at TPO to make sure that that there's some proximity to one of the bike ped traffic locations.
Okay. And let's see. And is this Rick? Is that what I'm seeing?
That's Jim Sharp.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, Jim.
SHIRK.
Thank you.
IRK.
Sure. IRK. Okay.
Thank you.
No E?
No E.
Okay. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. So it looks like we've got some good dots here. So I think everyone seems to have the hang of it. So what we'll do, that you'll still have access to this page as well. But I am going to open it up so you guys can access these other pages. So what I'm going to do is we're going to now transition over to the mapping activity. So this is where you're going to use the site selection criteria here based on this, and then you'll actually map out where you think would be good locations for the community monitoring site. So we've got 3 different community areas, and you'll also see that here on the screen on pages 2 through 4. And so as you're accessing these pages, you'll see the 3 different communities on there. And I think we might have overloaded the, okay, there we go. So you'll see this here. And so on pages 2 through 4, we've got the Encore South Nebraska area. And then we've also on page 2, and then we've also got the Sulphur Springs area on page 3. And on page 4, we've got the VM, Ybor, and Tampa Heights area as well. So again, you'll use your pencil tool to select a specific location within these community areas. If it's a little bit outside the border, that's totally fine. But this is just a general guide for you guys. And then you can also add comments in here. And so you can add the comments on there to explain where you want to see the community, the pilot site in the community. All right, so I will let you guys take it away. There are instructions on the board on the bottom left-hand side of the screen if you guys need any clarification. And if you run into any issues, just let us know. And Shanna and I can help you add in comments and pencil anything in that you need help with.
Right, and I'll be watching the chat and listening if anyone has anything that they would like us to add.
Thank you, Shanna.
Once again, I don't have, I can't get access to this, so could you put a dot for me at Saunders Library?
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. You're welcome.
Right there. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm seeing a lot of good dots and sticky notes as well coming through here. And just as a reminder, I see a couple little dots down here. If you can make your pencil line thick, you can just use that. There's 4 different line widths that you can choose from. So just make it thick so we can definitely see where you want it. Okay, and Lena, I see your comment here. Please add Tampa Heights Community Center and Community Gardens. Ybor City, Tampa. All right. Alfredi, if you want to just make a dot kind of close by there, and then you can add a comment on with a sticky note, or if you'd like me to, I can add a sticky note as well for that. All right. Yes, I will add it for you. Okay, and Lena, I am adding one for the community center, and the garden should be right here. Did I get those two correct? Let me know. And I can add a dot up at Robles Park for you as well. All right, wonderful. I like seeing all the dots. Thank you everyone for adding to our maps. And we'll give you guys just another minute or so to wrap everything up on these couple pages, and then we can go from there. Lena, would you like me to add the address on here as a sticky note for the
Yeah,
community
that'll be
center?
fine. Whatever is
Okay.
whatever is best. Yes.
Okay. Okay. See a lot of colors out here, which is awesome. So I'm just taking a couple screenshots just so I can share all of this with you guys as well. Okay, so I think if you guys have not had enough time, you'll still have access to this whiteboard because we are actually just going to be transitioning over to page number 5. So it looks like some of you guys have already added dots in here, which is super fun. So these are actually, this is an opportunity for you to add in comments and dots where you want to see future community monitors. So after the pilot site, or after the pilot study, I'm sorry, where else do you want to see monitors located in the larger community monitoring network, and specifically focusing on areas that are in proximity to high volume roads, so like the I-275, I-4, and then also I-75 as well, kind of focusing on those areas, but also just in general. So you can add dots in here and add comments to this as well. So you guys can take a second to add in your thoughts here.
Jim Shirk again. Something near Progress Village would be desirable, because when they first started kicking people of color out of the I-4 corridor, they moved a lot of them down to Progress Village. It'd be interesting to see if there's any improvement in their lives on an air quality basis.
Okay, yep, I will add something in there as well. Thank you. Pencil. Right. Seeing a couple more dots in there. Okay, so I think at this point we can wrap this up. So as I mentioned, we'll send out kind of the overview with all of the comments and everything. But if you also think of something later on that you want to add, you can actually go onto our website, or if you want to share this with other people, you can go onto our website. There's not going to be a whiteboard, but I'm going to pull up the website now. So you can, and we'll put the link to the website in the chat. If you scroll down to help select community monitoring sites, there's also a map here. And there are instructions on how to add a marker to this, but this is a collaborative map. And you can actually visit the map, and then you can add your markers here. So the boundaries are listed in the red. So you can see pilot area 1 boundary, and then this is area 2 boundary. And then we've also got the area 3 boundary up here. So what you can do is you can add in your pilot markers. So you can add a marker here. And then let's say I'll delete this one, but I'm just going to click on the map, and then you can add pilot site here. So if you think of anything else later on that you'd like to, and then you can add a description, explain why. add the marker, and it'll show up here. So if you think of anything else later on that you'd like to communicate with us, you can use this map. You can also share this with everyone else in your community or in your community organization, and you can kind of spread the word that way as well. So I'm actually just going to delete my marker there. Okay. So you do have that option. So we will go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, and we are done with this one. And we'll also be sending out the PowerPoint as well. So you'll have all of these in here to access. Let's see. Okay, we've done the mapping activity. Okay, so this is our final discussion. So I will send it over to Shanna to explain this discussion.
Great. So yeah, thanks for every dot and note you guys put in our whiteboard right there. This is very helpful for moving forward. So what we want to know now is kind of if there's any ways any of you want to further get involved. So we made a survey right here. You can scan the QR code with your phone if you have it available, or the link is right there that you can type in. I'll also type it in the chat actually right here. And this will help you, kind of communicate to us how you're willing to get involved, such as your area being a potential community monitoring site, or if your community is outside of our pilot locations, then hopefully we can get you integrated in the future, definitely. And then if you know anyone else who you think might be interested in this study, we definitely want to hear all of this. So this survey online allows you to put that all in. And if anyone wants to verbally give us any feedback right now, that's welcome too. But yeah, we totally recommend filling out the survey, and we'll give you a few minutes to do so right now. And I believe we'll integrate the survey onto the website, right, Lizzie?
Yeah, yep. I will add it up there.
Right. Cool.
All right, and so that largely concludes the focus group session, but we are absolutely going to stick around for any questions that you guys have, or if you have any additional suggestions. We really appreciate all of the time that you guys have committed today, and really great conversation and great feedback as well. So thank you all. We really appreciate it, and we will now have a chance to answer questions and have further discussion if you'd like.
Absolutely. I think we have this open for another 30 minutes at least before Zoom kicks us out.
So I got my questions answered in our breakout session, and
okay.
I'm sure we'll have more, but the ones that I had during the original presentation were answered. We do have to leave now. We have another meeting that we scheduled at 3:30, but we're looking to keep involved, of course, and I sent in the chat our locations and the involvement. We definitely are looking forward to being involved.
Wonderful.
Thanks so
Thank
much
you
for
so much.
coming. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you for inviting us. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And thank you, Eric. I see your note. So,
Okay, and
Yeah.
this is Jim Shirk. Once again, I want to apologize for being late. I'm just, I should have been earlier, but I'm not. But anyway, I got on the last part of it. So I'm also representing Sierra Club. So thanks for the work.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
And if you have any
Thank you, Jean.
questions about anything that you see in the PowerPoint when we send it out, if you missed it, just let us know.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember, Brian, we accidentally missed you during our breakout session. If you still had a question or wanted to say anything now, you totally can.
Say again?
We missed a question from Brian earlier. So if he wanted to ask us.
Thank you, Alfredo.
Yeah, thank you. I guess if there are no more questions, I was wondering if the project team could hang around for another 5 minutes. Yeah.
I'm out of here. Thank you.
Thank you,
Have
everyone.
a good weekend, Jim.
Okay. Stay
Yeah.
safe.
Bye, Jim.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Have
Bye.
a good weekend.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Cedric. Okay, not sure who's in the room right now. I think Brent and Brian and
Yeah, Brian wrote.
Allison, I'm still here. Did you want me to stick around?
yeah, I was just gonna do a little follow-up for 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Okay.
Well, congratulations to everyone, but especially Lizzie and Shanna. That went really well. And, you know, the whiteboard, it was almost like what you do in a room, like, you know, with actual sticky notes. So thanks. And we might steal the idea for other meetings. I was telling Melissa Zornita, one of our executive directors, about that, and she thought that was really cool. So, you know, I don't know if you pay, you can get more panels, but 5 seemed like plenty.
Yeah.
And I thought it was pretty cool when you could see people on different pages.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually asked Chris to take some snapshots with his phone so we could see everybody's faces plus the sticky boards going up. So hopefully we can use those for something.
Yeah.
I
have a question about that.
But yes, I took some screenshots.
I have a question about that. So because I did log into the whiteboard, but I didn't see sticky notes. So when someone's in a whiteboard, do they see other people's interactions on their end? Are they supposed to see that?
They should.
Yeah.
Like I had to follow along with the screen. It showed me everyone that was in the whiteboard, but it wouldn't update.
So Davida, I didn't see that you were one of the names logged in. I was staying out just in case we had space issues, but I thought you were doing that too. So you were actually logged in?
I was. It did disconnect like twice, like something came up saying connecting or something. So I don't know if maybe.
Yeah, it didn't show your name on the long list of people on the screen. So I wonder if maybe, you know, it kicked you out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's possible.
That's what I'm wondering.
I think there were definitely more people in there than we've ever had. So
yeah, I was like,
so I was a little bit worried about that. So it might have had something to do with that. I'm not entirely sure.
Like I'm in it now. I can make pencil marks and everything, and I can see everyone that's logged in or that was logged in at that point.
Right.
So just interesting. So I guess a note for you to know that.
Yeah. No, but that is good to know.
If you refresh your screen, can you see her? Because we don't see her on your screen.
I'm actually, my screenshots didn't work earlier, so I'm taking these again.
Okay.
In case if I do refresh it and I lose it, that way we'll have it.
Well, see, I wasn't sure if I should jump in because it looked like less than 20 people in there, but then it wasn't showing everyone, obviously.
Yeah, it was.
I took a bunch of screenshots, so you should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, let me refresh it and see what happens.
Yeah. See, it's still just showing you.
That's really weird.
Yeah, see, mine is showing me, Lizzie, and Shanna.
Right.
Right.
Oh, now you have me there. Okay.
And your home's in there now.
I
Looks like
wonder.
a lot of the markers are gone though, so
Yeah.
at least we have the
Oh.
screenshots.
Yeah,
That's what-
marker's gone.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Did you get a screenshot?
It's almost like, Lizzie, if you have the screenshots,
I
you could
do, yeah.
translate these dots into, use those as just visuals, right? But
Right.
translate the locations that were named back into the other map, the interactive map on the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Then we'll have them there. But
I also got some screenshots right when we closed it. So
I don't think I got screenshots of the site selection though. No, I didn't.
do you think maybe the free version doesn't let you save it or something?
I don't know.
I mean-
That's kind of surprising that it doesn't, but I guess we've never tried to save our markers before.
yeah.
Are you taking screenshots within the application, like that has a screenshot thing, or are you doing it with Windows?
Well, I did it with Windows.
So the way that Windows screenshotting works is you take a screenshot and then it goes to your clipboard and then you have to save that. So if you do a bunch in a row, the last one is the only one you'll see.
I did that during the meeting, but now I just put it on a Word doc.
Okay.
So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we can just, wrap up. I noted one thing that Lee, the comment she put in the chat about the monitors being about 500 feet from the roadway. I guess I thought we might have kind of gotten past that initially in our screening criteria, but we might have to at least explain it again why we didn't. In our focus group, we explained that, while there's a distance requirement, we want, Amy, you brought up a really good point early on about monitoring where people are actually using the space, where they're living, recreating, where they're going to school. So it'll,
Yeah,
I was surprised to see that comment again.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why that's her perspective. I mean, if you're just interested in finding the location of the highest concentration, that's where you would go. But that's,
right.
We're interested in finding places where the exposures are high.
Right. So I don't know if we could have enough to have one, in 500 feet away, but the rest, have kind of a.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we have any,
one there.
I mean, I think if there's a residence or park or someplace in a park where, you're within that range. I mean, there's probably some place where that's the case.
Well, I think we were thinking Robos, right? Weren't we looking at Robos, but then we decided the playground was better? You guys remember?
Yeah, it's better for community engagement for sure. I mean, we can, there are places on the other side, but so we could put, a purple air over on the other side if we can get power. I mean, that's the other issue too, right? You have to.
Right. And then the height of the wall is an issue, right? I remember it might've been Jason.
The wall will keep it from being too high, very close in to the wall. So, I mean, don't get first up. So the exact number, there is no exact number where if you're within it, it's high and you're out it, it's not high. I mean, that isn't the case.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's all. I didn't want to keep everyone too long, but maybe we can regroup at our next meeting. But really, really nice job, especially for the prime organizers. Thank you so much. I mean,
It was excellent.
it was fun.
Yeah,
You
it was pretty good.
Yeah. Not bad for having like 20 some people online. I mean, it felt like pretty intimate, I thought.
And it feels like there's a lot of people who are very interested in being involved. So I think that's really good.
Yep. Okay. Well, unless there's anything else, I have a great weekend, you guys.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Thanks so much. Yeah. Thank you, Chris. That was really helpful.
Thank
Yep.
you.